Um, Hello everyone, my name is Sang-min. Today I'm going to talk about the transportation in specific of a taxi culture. As we all know, the public transport and the just regular transport helped our life a lot in terms of, like I said, transportation, but also it helped us to excel our local economics. But when we look at the 2014 transportation proposal, as you can see, the cars, bus, and a subway, and the fourth one is a taxi. It only takes about 7%, but what I can say is taxi is the thing that we can use anywhere, anytime, so that I believe the taxi is also important transportation in our life. Currently, the taxi companies are using different type of strategies to approach to us. One of the example is a mobile platform, whereas they provide us like a service through the phone or applications, and then we can use that efficiently. Currently, what I can say is that there are some people who have a bad or negative perspective to this taxi service. However, the taxi companies try to improve their service, the review services. It is one of the good way for companies to communicate with their customers and improve their services. However, I believe the current system has some limitations. I'll explain right now. Firstly, the engagement of the customers are pretty low. Unlike the customer must be responsible in order for company to know what to fix. However, there are a lot of factors that we consider before we do our reviews, such as we're busy to review, we are just lazy, and often we just don't know why we need to do review. Because of those reasons, often customers are not engaged in reviewing the service system. Secondly, current situation is too abstract for us to know the problem. As you can see, for instance, the Kakao mobile taxi ask us to rate the driver in terms of level 5. However, from that review, it is hard for customers or companies to know exactly what the problem is. Last problem, will the drivers actually fix or improve their service? I will give you an example, whereas, like I said, the previous company, the Kakao Taxi, does not deliver the customer's complaint to the taxi drivers, which, as a constant consequence, the drivers will not know what the problem is, therefore they cannot fix it. To know the actual facts and to provide a better solution, I did a survey with 5 different questions, and by interpreting those results, I'll give a solution to each limitations. Firstly, according to the survey, what they say is about 75% of the people who participate in or who experience the service did not engage in review services, the reasons of that is just because they're lazy, or they just don't know why they need to do it. So I thought that by giving them motivations, I believe they would engage in the thing. So I suggest a review point system. It is also one of the common service that the company does. Review point system is one of the systems that is used among the service company, whereas when the customers review, they will receive a point and they can use that point to do another activities. For instance, the delivery application called Yogio uses such review point system. After using such system, the clean review will actually help, like some actual review that helps to improve the customers will increase by 3 times. That's pretty impressive, right? Second problem, which was abstract. To be more specific, I determined the 3 factors that we look for when we take a taxi. First, which is time. Second, the safety. Third, the convenience. To know that, however, often people think that, oh, this is too much, so I made it a simple question that can be answered by yes or no. According to the survey, those people, about 83% people said yes to the question that asked, will you actually participate in a review that is made up of 3 different questions that can be answered by yes or no? From that, I believe the second limitation can be solved. Finally, will the taxi drivers actually improve their service? One of the poor environment the taxi drivers face right now is a poor payment. They often get like less than a minimum pay that like other people get. So I recommend a performance-based payment, which is depending on how much you perform, you get better extra pay. I would do this by ranking the drivers depending on their rates. However, often people might say, well, now the taxi drivers are already competitive by putting the service. Wouldn't they be more competitive? However, I'll give you an example to solve that problem. There's a restaurant A and B. They both have the same review rates. However, the number of reviews are different. When you look at A, that's at 320 reviews. When you look at B, there's only 70 reviews. I want to ask you, what restaurant would you choose? A. Thank you. I would choose A also. This is because not only looking at the review, so this can be solved such like this example, whereas not only looking at the review rates of the drivers, if you look at the number of reviews that receive the same or similar score, we can rank them in the higher place, and then the drivers will also focus on the rate or the quality, service quality of the individuals rather than number of customers they take. Well, this service sounds pretty fair to the customer, but what about drivers? If the customers comes too emotional, or if they just have a bad day that they don't want to give any compliments to drivers, what would they do? They will give a bad rate, which will affect the driver's pay. So I would call it great. I would also grade the customers at the same time, whereas we'll look at the difference between the average rate or average score of the drivers and the score that the customer actually gives. If the difference is really big and such review is consistent or happening simultaneously, I would degrade the customer and I'll put less effect. I would say that review will be less effective than the original one. By doing this, I have some expected results, whereas we can get the actual detailed review in terms of by using 3 different questions. At the same time, by using the point review system, they will participate more and actively. Furthermore, by doing the performance-based payment, those drivers who worked so hard but get a minimum pay will get extra pay so that they will improve their work environment also. Finally, by using the review point system, not only taxi culture or taxi economics, it will, by using a review points, not only improving the taxi services, but also it will enhance or activate the entertainments and food services also. Currently, I suggest such idea to Kakao Taxi, since most of people, about 80% of people, use the Kakao Taxi as a mobile app. Furthermore, if this is effective, we should not just end this in a private company, but also the government should use such strategy also to improve the services. This can be not only limited to taxi services, this can be used as any public transport where often people complain about anything. So finally, in conclusion, currently, have you ever heard about the shared economies? Which is a process that economy runs by sharing the resources. Currently, this emerges again. It is beneficial, of course, because in terms of environment, we save our environment. In terms of local economics, yeah, it activates our local economics. However, for the private companies or previous company that existed, especially for those people who relies on labor, will affected by it, also get threatened by such shared economies. Therefore, by using such strategies that I suggest, or any other different type of approaches, I hope this will help to improve their environment. Thank you.